Hey guys, welcome back to the Sullivan family. Right, so a few days ago I mentioned in our vlog, I can't remember which day it was, that I would be doing a quick vlog. Actually, it's never a quick vlog with me, you know what I'm like, I can talk forever. A vlog on energy. So EON energy in particular, because that is who we are with. So for those that haven't been around for as long, I think we did a vlog back September, October sort of time, on some problems we were having with EON back then. It also was on my Instagram, so I'll just do a quick recap on the story. Basically, they billed us nearly £50,000 for the year, so that was just for gas. So it came up at first, we got a message through saying that our direct debit was changing from, I can't remember what we were paying at the time. I think we were still paying £240 at the time, because it's going back to last year, and that was kind of what we'd always paid, £240 a month. That it was going from that to £4,000 for a month. So this message came in to Ben at the end of the day. So of course, I panicked. I was like, why on earth do we owe them that much money? He went on and checked the bill, and it said that their projection for our following year was 35,000 and something for gas. Now we've had problems with our gas meter since we moved in here, because they changed and put a new gas meter in, and nobody seemed to be able to take the reading properly, so they kept billing us the wrong amount, etc, etc. But we managed to finally get all of that sorted out with one person who's ever helped us in the whole time. A really nice lady managed, after I don't know how many phone calls over the years, to try and get this sorted. This one lady finally got it sorted for us. So this is previous. So anyway, we obviously cancelled, because the direct debit was due out like in 2 days time or something, or the next day or something. So anyway, I cancelled the direct debit, because if they'd have taken that direct debit, it would have literally left us with nothing. In fact, they probably wouldn't be able to take it, because looking back now, because I don't even think we had that much money in our bank account, so they wouldn't have been able to take it anyway. But at the time I was faced with that. It was tea time. I remember panicking and thinking, they'll take all of our money, we won't have anything to get us through the rest of the month, we won't be able to pay our rent, we won't be able to pay anything. So anyway, we finally got through to somebody. I think it was like the next day or whatever. We finally managed to get through to someone, and it took, I don't know how many hours on the phone to get through, and they couldn't work out why we'd been billed this amount of money. So to cut a long story short, it was an error. I mean, we knew it was an error, but there's still that little part of you that thinks there's got to be something wrong. So it was an error. We got a phone call back from one of the managers, because obviously I took to social media and put it on social media, because it was just, they had nowhere along the line had somebody looked and gone, this doesn't look right, why are we charging this person this amount of money? And for me, I just thought, what if this letter had gone to somebody who was vulnerable or elderly or anything like that, and they couldn't get to cancel the direct debit, or they hadn't noticed, because it wasn't a letter, it was a message, they hadn't noticed, and that would be, and these companies, they don't give me money back fast if they've made a mistake. They would have made us wait. So my point was, what if this had happened to somebody else and they hadn't seen it, or they'd taken their money, which was one of the reasons I was so angry about it. So finally we got a phone call back from one of the management saying that it was a mistake, and like we said the same thing to them. What if this had happened and it had been vulnerable, elderly, somebody had no money, or couldn't, thought they were going to get cut off or whatever else. But these companies can be quite threatening. And they were very apologetic. They said that it's all done by an automated system. So, and we were sort of like, but surely your automated system somebody should be checking along the way that what the automated system is sending out is right. And they were like, yes, maybe it should be something that is looked into, or, something like that. But anyway, so I'd cancelled my direct debit because they were still adamant that I had to pay the £4,000 direct debit, even though we actually only owed £124. So I was like, there's absolutely no way that's going to happen. Cancelled my direct debit, and continued to pay. Oh, actually, I think it was £400 we were paying at the time. Sorry, because continued to pay £400 a month. On the 1st of every month, we just phone up, we pay, or we just pay online £400. So we've continued to do that. Fast forward to now, we start getting letters, threatening letters saying, you know, you are in debit, overdue, your account is overdue, you need to pay this letter, you need to pay this right now, we're adding an additional £10 on for each letter we send you. Thanks very much, EON, that's really helpful. So your account is overdue, basically, because basically we're using probably about £600 worth or £500 worth of gas and electric a month at the moment, and we're only paying £400. And I'm only paying £400 because that's all I can really, I mean, the thing is, yes, I could probably stretch to a little bit more, but I'm kind of like, I've already gone from 240 to 400. I'd have to take that money from another budget, from clothes or whatever else, in order to just pay the energy bill. And when you see these profits these companies are making, it kind of makes you a little bit reluctant to pay it. I know we're using the energy, but the energy prices are ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. You know, how you can go from using the same energy and paying £240 a month, which is pretty much we've paid for years, to suddenly paying £400 a month and it's still not being enough. And you kind of think, I don't want that, you know, I don't want to pay £500, £600, £700 a month. So anyway, we know that over the summer we will hardly use any gas at all because the heating should be off, hopefully, etc, etc, etc. So normally what we do, our account normally runs in a little bit of arrears through the winter, because obviously we use more, and then we make up for it in the summer because we carry on with the same payments during the summer, and normally it catches up with itself. But because we're not on a direct debit, they want the bill paying straight, all of it straight off. So we phoned up, Ben phoned up, because we got, this was one letter we got, and then we obviously we made a payment, which took the account back down, but then they put more money, you know, they put another reading back on. This is another thing, they're just doing readings out of the yin yang wherever they feel like, and we already send in readings every single month. Ben puts in our own readings. That's something else I'll come to in a minute. So they sent us another letter saying they're adding another £20 charge this time. This is like 10 days later, £20 charge because we're not paying. So Ben phoned them up and said, you know, why are you adding all this money on? And basically they said, because we don't have a direct debit set up, it needs, we either need to set a direct debit up with them. So they're kind of pushing you into setting a direct debit up even when you don't want to. And then they can work out how to spread the payments, if you like. But they can't do that without a direct debit. So the reason I cancelled my direct debit was because they were going to take £4,000 off me, which I didn't owe. But now they want me to set up a direct debit again. And until I do, they're going to keep sending me letters saying that I owe them money, even though I'm making payments every month. They're going to keep sending me letters and keep charging me £20 each time, £20, because our account is overdue, essentially. Okay, so we got a letter on the 18th of February saying that we owed them however much money, which wasn't the correct amount of money anyway, because we've made a payment. So they said we owed them like £500, and we didn't actually owe them that because we'd already made a payment. So they'd add £10 for that letter. Sorry, I've just run down the stairs. 10 days later, sent us another letter saying that we are now however much money behind, and they're going to add a debt collection fee to our bill. So they're going to charge us £20 for a debt collection fee, and then they're going to ask a debt collection agency to collect the money that we owe them. I mean, that's quite a threatening letter in my view. I'm not particularly worried about it because I know that I can phone these companies up, and as long as you're making a payment and you are showing willing, you're making a payment, there's not really that much they can do, in theory. But these threatening letters that they send to people can be quite frightening. So in 10 days, we've gone from your account is overdue, you need to make a payment, which we've made a payment. It just wasn't exact amount that they wanted, but it was still a payment. We still paid £400. They wanted 500. So yes, it leaves money on the account. And I understand that. I know that there's money left on the account, but the fact of the matter is, it even says in these letters, set up an online account. We've already got an online account. They can see we've got an online account. These letters are, like when we phoned up and spoke to the guy on the phone, he said, you know, they are automated. Yes, I know they're automated, but that's really bad. You've got a company like EON, who are a massive company making massive profits, and they still send out automated letters with wrong information on. We've already got an account set up online. They're just chucking out letters saying they're going to send debt collection agencies to come and collect this money that you owe them and all that sort of stuff. And there's just... No, yes, I know that we owe them money. We owe them money every single month. Everybody owes them every single month because nobody can keep up with their energy bills at the moment because they're ridiculously high. The fact of the matter is that they just send these letters out saying, you know, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And for some people, that's quite a frightening letter to say that you're going to get a debt collection agency coming banging on your door. That's what you think. You see it on the TV. They're going to come banging on my door. They're going to ask me for my money. Obviously, I know that's not going to happen because, as you know, we said, what they want when we phone them up is for us to set up a direct debit, because that way they can spread our payments like we already do. But when they send us out a bill, essentially we have to have it paid because they don't know if they're going to get their money, basically. So they're bullying you into setting up a direct debit by sort of saying they're going to get debt collectors around to collect the money, etc, etc. So at some point, I know we're going to have to set up a direct debit, which I don't really want to do because of what happened last time. But I do keep an eye on these things quite a lot. So, you know, I can catch it before it comes. And if I have to cancel it again, I have to cancel it again. But what annoys me the most is we've not been paying. We've been paying every single month. Without fail, we pay £400 every single month. Yes, it's not enough. But as I said, you know, it's just, you're going to end up with all that you can afford to pay for in life is your shopping and your energy, and there'll be no money left for anything else. And then these companies come in and they say, you know, we've made X and £3 billion worth of profit this quarter, and you think, or this year, and you think, and the rest of us are just trying to, you know, get by and pay, just to have a little bit extra left over. Anyway, I was really annoyed, obviously, because I just feel that the customer care from these companies, and I don't know whether other companies are the same, EON is definitely way up there. It's just, they have no customer care anymore. They literally don't care. They just want your money, and that's all there is to it. You pay your bill. They're not offering, you know, any kind of help, or even on the phone when you speak. The guy that Ben spoke to was quite rude, to be honest. And he was very much like, you got to pay it, or this is going to happen, or that's going to happen, because they want to bully you into doing what they want you to do. And because you owe them money, they've got you over a barrel, because you're always going to owe them money because the prices are ridiculously high. Anyway, as I said, at some point, yes, we are going to have to set up a direct debit again, which is annoying because it was not something that I wanted to do after last time. But this is how they kind of get one over on you, really, isn't it? Because you have to have energy, and you have to go with somebody, and they're all much of a muchness at the moment. But yeah, that's my EON story for now. I mean, I know there'll be people that say, you know, well, you owe them money, so you need to pay it. I understand that. I completely get that. But as, you know, and I know that we've got more usage than a lot of people because of the house we're in, because of the amount of people we've got, etc, etc, etc. I understand all of that. Yeah, I know all of that. But I feel very bitter about the amount of profits that are being made and the amount of money that people are having to pay. I feel very bitter when I see people on the TV with these companies breaking into people's houses and making them have meters fitted, and literally they sit there and just watch the money go down. There's people with absolutely nothing who can't afford to even heat and light and they can't afford to, you know, or they have to choose between heating and eating, and then you see these companies making these profits, and I just think it's absolutely disgusting. And I can't understand, for the life of me, I can't understand why nothing more is being done about it, why everybody is, the government and everybody is just allowing it to happen. I just don't understand. I don't understand why the prices are just going up and up and up, and nobody seems to be to do anything about it, to be honest. But what I did do, because I know everyone's heard of like the price cap and the price guarantee and all of that sort of stuff. Obviously, you know, there was the big thing over, they said it was capped at 2,500, but they didn't really explain properly what that meant. And obviously we knew that that wasn't the case for us, but people were like, yeah, but they've said that it's being capped, and they never explained it properly. So people assumed that their bills were going to be no more than 2,500. Obviously what they failed to notify people, or to put, you know, the tiny small print, what they failed to tell everybody was that on a normal usage would be around about 2,500. Obviously ours was going to be way more than that, so the price cap would be different. So the price wasn't capped at £2,500, that your bill would be no more. I hate the fact that they banned it on the news. They're like, yeah, the price cap will go up to £3,000, because people seem to think that that is all that they'll pay. They can use as much energy as they want because they won't pay any more than 3,000. That's not the case at all. Your price is capped per kilowatt hour or per unit, not on your usage. So if you use more, you're going to pay more. But they don't like to explain these things very well. So I went back just out of interest, because I realised that I hadn't actually looked on our bill to see what the price cap or the price guarantee was doing for us. I hadn't looked at the actual figures of it. So I went back and had a look. There's lots of friends like, what is all that writing? So I went back to 2 years ago, so March 2021, and I got a bill roughly sort of saying, I worked out, obviously the bill was over longer, but I worked out per day. So I worked out at the time for gas, we were paying 2.053 pence per kilowatt hour for gas. This is March 2021. And the daily standing charge was 24.5p. So I worked out the bill, I think the overall bill was for about 78 days or something. So I worked out the overall amount, split it down between 78. So I got how much usage per day we used. So we were approximately using, back then, 240 kilowatt hours of gas per day, which worked out about £4.93 plus the daily standing charge. So it worked out approximately £5.18 or something per day of gas, plus VAT. Plus VAT at the end of that. So that would have been about, what would that have been? So on an average month, that would have been approximately 155-ish per month for gas, which was probably about right. And then we'd probably have used about 100 of electricity, so our 250 would have been covering it. Bearing in mind that would have just gone through winter as well, so that bill was probably January to March. And as I said, I worked it out, split it down between however many days it was. I think it was 78 days, that bill. So I split down what the bill was, the usage was for that time, between 78. So it worked out how much usage I was using, how many kilowatt hours, I was using per day. They also make it a little bit confusing because there's an equation that changes the units to kilowatt hours. It's quite a long-winded equation, but it is, if you need it, it is in the bill. So when you look at the bill, it does tell you the equation that they use to break it down, but they don't make it easy for you. So anyway, I worked out what we're paying now. So our usage now has gone from 240 kilowatt hours per day to, what was our usage now? 127 kilowatt hours. So we've gone down by, what, about 100 and something? So nearly, not quite half. So we've cut our usage of gas quite a lot, which is a good thing, although we're still paying more. But we have cut our usage of gas. So that was quite a good thing to find out. But now the energy company themselves, and this was the bit I hadn't really realised how much of a difference the price guarantee is actually making. So this is what the government have set at the moment. So if that wasn't in play, our gas would be 16.211 pence per kilowatt hour. Now, 2 years ago, we were paying 2 pence per kilowatt hour. Now the gas companies, or the energy companies, sorry, are wanting 16p per kilowatt hour. So that's 8 times as much. Now so if that was the case, now with our usage now, we'd be paying £20 per day, plus the daily standing charge, which is now 27p. So that hasn't gone up huge amounts, but still. So we'd be paying nearly £21 a day in gas, So that would work out on an average month about £630 if the price guarantee wasn't in play. If we still had the same usage from 2 years ago, we'd be paying nearly £40 a day. So it'd be £39 something, plus VAT. These are all plus VAT, these figures. So we'd be paying £40 a day plus VAT if we had the same usage as 2 years ago on the prices that the company wants to charge. Now, the price guarantee actually takes it down to 6.42 pence per kilowatt hour. So that's nearly 10 pence. Yes, it's 3 times as much as we used to pay, but it's nearly 10 pence a kilowatt hour off, which means that our gas is approximately, including the daily standing charge, our gas is approximately £8.50 a day, approximately. So that's actually quite a lot of money, and I hadn't realised that. I hadn't realised how much. So when they're talking about taking the price guarantee away in April, that's how much we would be paying if that wasn't in play. So we'd be paying £20 a day at least, whereas at the moment we're paying about £8 a day. So £8.50. So yeah, that works about £250 a month. And then I'll go over electricity in a sec. So if we still had the same usage and the companies were charging as much as they want to be charging, we'd be nearly £40 a day. If we had the same usage with the price guarantee, we'd be about £15 a day. As it is at the moment, with our usage being cut, we're about £8 something a day. So, but where we used to be was £5 a day. So we're about £3 more at the moment, but it could go, if they take that price guarantee away, it's going to be £20 a day. So that's a massive, massive difference. And I hadn't realised how much of a difference that is. So that's gas. Electric, to be honest, so again, the same bill went back to 2021. And our usage hasn't really changed very much. So our usage back then was approximately 23 units per day, and we're using about 22 now. So our electric usage hasn't really changed very much, which at least I'm glad it hasn't gone up. I was quite surprised that our gas has gone down as much, because I did think that our gas would be more, because obviously there's showers, there's a heating, but I have been making a much more conscious effort to, cut down on the time people have in showers, put the heating down. I mean, I'm home during the day, but I do put the heating down as much as I can. But obviously we do live in North Scotland, and it is really, really cold here at times. And I do have the babies at home, so I count Joseph in that as babies. It does get cold. And sometimes come sort of 4 o'clock in the winter, I have to put the heating back on for a few hours. Anyway, electric. So back in March 2021, we were paying 13.292 pence per unit for electric. Daily standing charge of 24.5 pence, the same as the gas. With our usage at approximately 23 units per day, we were looking at £3.32 on electric approximately per day plus VAT. So you can see that, I mean, that was a winter bill as well. So our gas and electric probably were coming in at about £300 a month. We were paying 240, but then during the summer it would have gone down. So by the following winter, we'd normally caught up, maybe have even a little bit in credit. And that's how it worked for years and years and years. And that was absolutely fine. So fast forward to March 2023, what the companies without the price guarantee, the price per unit would be 63.5p without the price guarantee. So that's going from 13 pence to 63p. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The daily standing charge has pretty much doubled. So that's gone up to 48.641p per day. So that's pretty much doubled per day. So with our usage, which again is 22.44 units per day, so it's roughly the same, we'd be looking at about £14.64, so about £15 a day plus VAT on electric. So you'd be, without the price guarantee, would be £20 a day on gas, £15 a day on electric. So that's £35 per day roughly without the price guarantee, times 30, so you're looking at just over £1,000 for a month of energy. So with the price guarantee, it takes it down to 31.84 pence per unit, so that's like half. So it's still 3 times as much again, but it's half of what it would be if that wasn't there. So that takes us down to roughly £7.50 or £7.64 plus VAT per day. I hope I've been saying day. I mean day. Yeah, so about £7 per day, 7.64 pence per day. So times on an average month of 30, so that's about £230 on an average month of 30 days. So it's £230 for that on an average. So we're about £500 ish for gas and electric. Obviously we owe a bit more because we're only paying £400, so every month that £100 accrues. So you know you've got £100 left, and then you've got £200, then you've got £300, so it always sits at a deficit. But I mean, we're not into them for thousands or anything. We are making payments every month, so it's only a small amount. But yeah, I was quite shocked at that. We all hear it on the news every day, but how many of us have actually gone to our bills and had a look and seen what those prices actually are? So, I mean, as I said before, you know, our usage is going to be higher. We've got more people in the house. Our house is bigger. It's going to be higher kind of higher numbers, but it's not, I don't think we have astronomical usage. I don't think we're that much more than the average. I mean, our house isn't massive. Do you know what I mean? So I would say to people, go and look at your bill and go and see what whichever company you're with, what the price guarantee is actually saving you at the moment. Because if that gets taken away, the bills are they're gonna double what they are right now. And for some, you know, if you're going back 2 years, some of them will be 8 times what they were 2 years ago for the same amount of usage. This is what I struggle to get my head around. We're using less than we were before, but yet these companies get to charge us, or want to charge us, 8 times as much or 6 times as much in the case of the electric as we used, you know, for the same amount of usage. And then they come out with these huge amount of profits, and you think, am I not catching on to something here? Or, you know, I mean, I know they like to make us feel a bit stupid, like we don't understand, and you know, like they're all talking big numbers and us people down here don't really understand what they're talking about. Because that's how they like to make us feel. They like to make us feel that you've got to pay these bills because they're in charge, and that's how much money it costs, and they don't like to explain to us the ins and outs of everything. But, you know, I know that they tell you all these stories about it being, it's not them, it's these companies, it's not the actual companies in the middle, you know, it's not E.ON and it's not British Gas, it's the people that supply the oil and gas at the top. Whatever, whoever it is, the people at the top are making billions of pounds worth of profit, whereas the people down at the bottom, meaning us, are paying out way more than we should be. So somewhere in amongst there, things aren't quite right. I don't care what you say or what stories we get fed on, you know, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that, it's, you know, it's because of, you know, whatever, and it's because of, all I can see is these companies showing on the TV that they've all made £3 to £5 billion worth of profit each, and people down here are struggling to even pay their bills or even put their heating and lights on. So to me, maybe I'm being a bit, I don't know, maybe I'm not cottoning on properly. I don't know. Maybe I'm not understanding properly. But from my point of view, that's where, and I know people will say, you know, we've just got to pay it. But that's the problem, isn't it? That's where they've got us. They've got us over this barrel because we have to pay it, because we have to have energy. And there's nobody standing up and going, we're not paying that. A bit like, I remember when, you know, when all the lorries blockaded the roads, when the price of fuel went up to £1 a litre, and now we're all shoveling in fuel. We're now happy that it's gone down from £1.90 a litre to £1.50 a litre, and we're all going, oh, thank goodness it's not £2 a litre anymore, you know. And this is how it happens. This is how these things happen. So we used to pay £240. Now they're going to be charging us, you know, they want us to be paying up to £1,000 a month for our energy. But, you know, so when they only say we only have to pay 400, we're like, oh, thank goodness for that. We only have to pay £400. This is how these companies, this is how it works. This is how, you know, there's got to be some higher power up there that this is how we get accustomed to then thinking that it's okay to pay £400 a month because it could be 1,000, you know, so at least it's only 400. Yeah, but we only used to pay 200, so that's double what we used to pay. But they make you almost grateful for, you know, like with the fuel, you know, it was nearly £2 a litre, so we should be grateful now that it's only £1.50. It's not right. These companies are making billions and billions of pounds out of people that are just trying to get by, really. The other thing I was going to say about they keep giving us estimations on our bill. This was what I meant to say earlier. So we give them readings every single month. Ben puts readings on every single month, and sometimes twice a month. But they, instead of how it used to be when they just used to give you a bill however many months, now they're kind of estimating readings all the time. And they're estimating our readings, and they're always overestimating, always. So on the next bill, so they say that we owe them this much money because they've estimated again, and then we've gone and given them our readings as we do every month, which has then taken our bill back down. So then they've had to refund on that bill, and that happens every single month. One month we got we got refunded nearly £100 because they'd overestimated. So yes, they send you this bill saying you owe that much money, but in actual fact, I mean, one of these bills here we've got that we owed them, I think, 600 and something pounds. We didn't, because we'd paid 400 and they'd overestimated by 100, so we actually only owed them about 100 quid. So, you know, then their records are right. Every single month they're refunding us by a certain amount because they've overestimated our bills. So they've overestimated our usage and charged us too much money. That happens all the time. That's another real bugbear with EON that they're constantly doing. I just think their customer care is awful. It just don't seem to have any anymore. And, you know, now we're just getting money chucked onto the account, £10, £20 for a letter every time. And you just think, oh, do you know what? It's just, you can't win. Like, you're not making enough money already. Now you're going to put 10, 20 quid on people. And how many people are they doing that to? Just putting 10, 20 pound on because they've had to send you a letter or you owe them money. How many people are they doing that to? How much money are they making with that? You know, like I said to EON last time on the phone, these automated letters that get sent out, like our automated estimated 50 grand bill, they can really cause damage to people. If people are in an extremely vulnerable place and they get bills like this and they're already at breaking point, as in sending them a letter with, you know, we're going to send round debt collection people, could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And these companies are not taking enough responsibility for what they're doing. You know, people are struggling right now. And, you know, for us, I mean, I could probably pay more every month, but I kind of don't. I'm paying £400 a month, and I think that's, you know, for us, it just means I've got to take it from another budget. And, you know, which budget do you take it from? Because I want the kids to be able to have things as well and go places. Shopping costs a fortune. So, you know, and people might say, oh, yeah, but you bought this last week or you bought that last week. Since when have we not been allowed to buy stuff because all we've got to pay for is our bills? That's not, you know, so basically you're just working to live and that's it. You know, it's not fair on people, is it? Anyway, like I said, I know at some point we're going to have to set up a direct debit, which will, you know, as the guy on the phone said, it will make it all disappear because you'll be able to work out a payment plan. And you think that's just not fair, really, because we are showing willing and we are making a payment every month. It's just not as much as they would like. And I know come summer that our bills will, as long as the price guarantee is still in place, it will kind of even out. But obviously if that happens and the government take that away, I don't know where we'll be, to be honest, but then I don't know where anybody will be with that. But what does really worry me, like I've said before, is the people that, like elderly people, vulnerable people. That's what really, really worries me, you know. I think of people like, you know, that are really struggling and they're already struggling to put, you know, food on the table, and then they get sent these letters and you just think, how cruel is that? You know, that they're already at breaking point and then you're going to send out these letters which is just going to push them even further. I just think these companies need to take more responsibility, and at the moment nobody seems to be standing up and kind of doing anything about it. And I think it's about time that something happened. I don't really know what, to be honest, but I think that's how everybody feels, you know. So everybody feels at a point where something needs to be done, but nobody really knows how to do something or how to start something. So, you know, anyway, yeah, that's my kind of EON vlog for now. So yeah, I don't know if other people are having the same issues. I expect they are, but I would say go and have a look at your bill. Go and have a look at the difference between the price, what they want, the price that they want, and the price guarantee that's in, and it will probably shock you quite a lot at how much you possibly could be being charged. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. So, because otherwise I just keep going on, I'm going to leave it there. So yeah, I'd say I hope you enjoyed this video, but I don't know if that's kind of the right thing to say. But anyway, don't forget to drop us a like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and we will catch you in the next video.